They say patience is a virtue, but I never truly understood what that meant until life pushed me to my breaking point. I was the kind of person who wanted everything instantly: success, happiness, answers. I chased results without ever pausing to value the process. But one day, everything I believed in and worked for came crashing down. My dreams shattered in front of my eyes, and my confidence disappeared overnight. I remember standing there, numb, broken, asking silently, why me? Why now? Why this pain? And then, in the middle of that darkness, something whispered inside me. Wait, don't give up yet. That was the first moment I tasted the true meaning of patience. I remember the exact moment I hit rock bottom. It wasn't loud, it was silent, suffocating, the kind of silence that wraps around your chest and makes you feel like you're drowning without water. The weight of failure crushed me, and I felt completely alone. People I thought would stand by me were nowhere to be found. Every decision I had made suddenly felt wrong. I wanted to escape, to run away from the pain, from myself. But deep down, a soft voice kept repeating, "Hold on. Just hold on." That voice was weak, but it was still there, still alive. The hardest battles are the ones no one sees, the ones you fight inside your own mind. I was constantly at war with my thoughts. One moment I believed I could rise again. The next I felt like nothing would ever change. Every sunrise brought new hope, but every night dragged me deeper into despair. My heart was tired, my soul bruised, but I kept moving inch by inch, breath by breath. I learned that sometimes survival itself is bravery. Sometimes just holding on is enough. One morning, as I watched the sunrise after a sleepless night, something shifted. I realized that everything in nature takes time. A seed doesn't bloom overnight, the ocean's waves never stop crashing, and mountains take centuries to form. So why was I so hard on myself? Why did I expect instant results in a world built on patience? That morning, I made a quiet promise. I would stop rushing. I would give myself time to heal, to grow, to rebuild. From that day, I started taking small steps. Nothing big, nothing fast. I focused on one tiny improvement at a time. Reading one page, walking 1 mile, breathing through one more anxious thought. I stopped comparing my journey to others and learned to celebrate the little victories. Slowly, the fog began to lift. The same life that once felt unbearable started to show me hidden colors, quiet joys, forgotten dreams. Patience wasn't about waiting. It was about trusting that every step, no matter how small, was still progress. As the days turned into weeks, I learned something else. Time doesn't heal everything, but it teaches you how to carry the weight differently. Some wounds never fully disappear, but they stop controlling you. I started to notice small changes. I could smile again. I could breathe without the heaviness crushing my chest. I realized that life is not about avoiding pain, but about learning how to dance with it without losing yourself. And with each passing day, I grew stronger, not overnight, but slowly, patiently. There were moments when I wanted to give up, moments when the darkness felt endless and my heart felt empty. But something unseen held me together. Maybe it was faith, maybe it was hope, maybe it was pure stubbornness. Whatever it was, I held on. I began to understand that patience isn't just waiting, it's trusting. Trusting that storms end, that new chapters begin, and that light always finds a way through the cracks. And even though I couldn't see the future, I chose to believe in it. As I practiced patience, something unexpected happened. I began to change on the inside. The anger faded, the bitterness softened, and the weight of expectations lifted. I started to find beauty in small things, a kind word, the sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight on my skin. Life didn't have to be perfect to be precious. I was no longer the same person who craved quick results. I was becoming someone who could wait, who could endure, who could rise again after every fall. Not every victory makes noise. Some victories happen in silence. The moment you choose to try again after failing, the moment you forgive instead of hate, the moment you breathe through the pain instead of running from it. I realized that patience isn't passive, it's powerful. It shapes you, strengthens you, molds you into someone who can face life with calm and quiet courage. And in those silent moments, I found my true strength, not in shouting, but in standing still. I used to think waiting was wasted time, but now I know. Waiting is where the real growth happens. It's where the character is built, where resilience is born, and where dreams quietly take root. Patience taught me to trust the timing of my life, even when I couldn't see the bigger picture. The hard times weren't punishment, they were preparation. I learned that every closed door, every delay, every setback was shaping me into who I was meant to become. One of the greatest lessons patience taught me was the power of perspective. The same situation that once felt unbearable began to look different when I stepped back and saw the bigger picture. I realized that setbacks weren't the end, they were redirections. Every struggle, every delay, every disappointment was shaping me, not destroying me. I stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and started asking, "What is this teaching me?" And with that shift, I found peace where I once only found pain. Patience didn't just change how I saw the world, it changed how I saw myself. I began to confront the fears, doubts, and insecurities I had buried deep inside. I realized I was running from myself all along, sitting with discomfort, allowing myself to feel, to cry, to breathe. It wasn't weakness, it was healing. I discovered that the real journey wasn't out there somewhere, it was within me. And through that inner mirror, I finally saw who I truly was, stronger than I ever imagined. For the first time in my life, I stopped chasing the future and started living in the present. I realized that the moments I was rushing through were the moments I would one day miss. The smell of fresh air, the sound of laughter, the warmth of morning light. These small things became my anchors. Patience taught me that life isn't something that starts when everything is perfect. Life is happening right now in the ordinary, in the simple, in the stillness. I came to understand that patience isn't loud. It doesn't shout or demand attention. It's quiet, steady, and unshakable. The strongest people are often the ones who keep going even when no one is watching, who wait gracefully, and who carry their battles with quiet dignity. I realized I didn't need to prove my worth to anyone. My journey was mine alone, and every slow step forward was a silent declaration of strength. The calm became my armor, and the waiting became my power. Little by little, hope began to return. It wasn't sudden. It was like the first gentle light after a long night. I started to dream again, to believe again, to open my heart to possibilities. I learned that hope doesn't mean you won't struggle. It means you believe the struggle won't last forever. With patience, I found the courage to rebuild, to stand back up, to write new chapters. And in that quiet comeback, I discovered the beauty of a heart that refuses to give up. Looking back, I realized that my greatest growth happened when nothing seemed to be changing on the outside. The world around me looked the same, but inside, I was transforming. Patience was quietly reshaping me, teaching me resilience, self-love, and the art of letting go. The person who once felt lost, desperate for quick answers, was becoming someone who could stand in the unknown without fear. The waiting wasn't empty, it was where I truly found myself, slowly, quietly, beautifully. With every passing day, I stepped further away from who I was and closer to who I was meant to become. The hardest times had taught me lessons no easy path ever could. I was no longer the person who rushed through life. I was the one who could wait, who could endure, who could rise with grace. I learned that life isn't about how fast you get somewhere. It's about how deeply you live each moment on the way. And in that truth, I found my new beginning. Patience changed my life, and it can change yours too. No matter how hard things feel right now, no matter how long you've been waiting, don't give up. Every moment is shaping you, preparing you for something greater. Keep moving, keep believing, and trust that your time will come. The story of growth is never rushed. It's written slowly, beautifully, one step at a time. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to the BillionX channel and join me on this journey of growth and hope.